Oh, hi there. I'm so glad you decided to join us. In this video, we're going to be talking about the basics of UI and UX, as well as looking at the tool that we'll be using for this course, which is Figma. Now, there's so many UI and UX design tools out there. The most popular ones are Figma, Sketch, and Adobe XD. And really, these are just tools to help you get the job done, and you shouldn't really get stuck on which is which. But if you ask me, I'm biased towards Figma. Let's get into it. First things first, what is UI design? UI designing is the designing of a graphical user interface of an application. So this could be a mobile app or a web app, or even a desktop app. It doesn't really matter. And what's the other part of this course? UX design. UX design is a sort of design that solely focuses on the user experience. That's what UX stands for, user experience. And its main goal is to offer the best experience to the users of whatever application you're designing. Okay, let's take a look at our design tool, Figma. Figma is a web-based design tool, so you could go to figma.com on your browser and just sign up there. Alternatively, you could also download the desktop app, which is what I prefer, because a million Chrome tabs isn't a good idea, even though I have like 999,000 currently. So if I could take one off my Chrome window, that's a bonus. So just go to figma.com or just search on Google for Figma desktop, and the first search result you get will be one that will enable you to download Figma, in most cases anyway. So the first thing you see when you open Figma is a little home tab. This is where you will manage all your projects, all your files and Fig Jamboards. All right, so on your left pane, just below your name, you're going to see your most recent Figma files open. If you don't have any, it's because you just started, and that's okay. You see your drafts, which are files you've created but haven't added to a project. And below the upgrade button, you'll see other stuff like favorite and themes. Themes are how you'd normally work with Figma. You'd be creating a theme project and then creating files inside those theme projects. As you can see, I've got a few already made, but don't mind those. For now, what we want to do is create a new design file. So to do that, you're going to see just above here, you're going to see new design file. Just tap on that and you should open a new design file. All right, so in this design file, let's take a tour of what this page actually means. So starting up at the menu bar, below your tab, you're going to see a few menus. You've got the Figma menu, which is the main menu. And here you can do the normal stuff you do in any other program. So your file, edit, view. We're not going to go through all of these in depth, but just know you could create a new design file from within here or import from Sketch, save a local copy, because as I said, Figma is web-based, so everything syncs to the cloud immediately. But if you need to work offline, or maybe for some reason you need your file offline, save a local copy of it. Below that, you've got edit. I'm not going to go through a lot of these in detail because it will take too much time, but I do encourage you to explore it on your own and see what each option does. Below that, you've got the view, and this basically outlines how your workspace will look, what panels and panes you have. So as you can see, I have a pixel grid active, I have rulers, and I have slices. We'll talk about all these in a moment, but for now, that's that. So the first tool you see, the little arrow, it's called the move tool, and it basically allows you to move things around your file. Next to that, the little hashtag, that's what we call the frame tool, and this is how we create our design boards. They're called frames in Figma. Next to that, you have your rectangle tool, and after that, you've got your pen tool, your type tool, your hand tool, and the last one is a comment tool. You could have that on or off.
Hi, Future Nobot here. So between the hand tool and the type tool, you've got the resources button. Now this was added in an earlier update to Figma earlier on this year. And what it does is essentially it lets you manage your components, plugins, and widgets more easily. If you'd like to learn more about components and plugins, click on the top right hand corner of this video or check the link in the description below. If you want to learn about widgets in Figma, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss when I post a video on that.
In the middle, you've got the name of your file and currently where it is. Currently it's in drafts and it's untitled. To the right, you get a little icon showing who's online, because Figma allows you to collaborate with many people. You'll find a time where you might be, I don't know, even hundreds working on the same Figma design file. Next to that, you've got the share button that allows you to share design files with people you want to either collaborate with or your developer. The little play button allows you to run your prototype, and the little 100% is the zoom level of your. Below that, you've got your layers and assets, as well as this page. So layers are basically just the layers of each artboard or each frame, or the layers of your entire design file. Assets are stuff that you've imported or created. So components are a big thing. We'll talk about components in a later video, so we'll skip that for now. So pages allow you to separate your design files into different versions. I've seen it used in many ways. The main way I use it is to separate my low fidelity wireframe from my high fidelity wireframes. Or maybe you've got an app that has different versions of it, maybe a driver app and a passenger app for, say, like the Uber app. You can separate it like that as well. For now, let's just go ahead and create our first frame. You just tap on that hashtag looking thing, and as you can see on your right pane here, which was mainly empty since we had nothing selected, this very right pane changes dynamically according to the tool you've selected and the frame you've selected and the element you've selected on your artboard. The information on this pane changes accordingly. So currently we've selected the frame tool, so it has given us options for starting points for frames. So in this course, we'll be doing both a mobile and a web app, but first we'll start with the mobile app. And it's important for you to choose which phone you're going to be primarily designing for, although it doesn't matter because all these designs can be adapted to different screen sizes. My advice on this is choose the device dimensions of your personal phone. So if you've got an iPhone, choose whatever iPhone dimensions matches yours. If you've got an Android phone, I'll maybe try and get the device dimensions of your phone. So currently for Android, we only have Android large and Android small. This usually isn't the case because with Android, you've got so many different aspect ratios and device types. So try and find one that's specific to yours, and you see the reason why a bit later in the course. You could also get other frame types for different platforms like tablet, desktop, presentation, even watch faces if you're designing for wearables. You've got paper, social media, and other stuff. And the archive is where they keep all the old stuff, that frames that they don't use anymore, that have been replaced by newer ones, and that's fine. So the alternative to create an artboard, I'm going to choose the iPhone 13 Pro Max for now. Just tap on it and boom, on your canvas you've got your first frame. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete my frame because that's not what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a device dimension that is specific to mine. So how you do that is first select your frame tool again and just tap anywhere on your screen. You get a little 100 by 100 frame. So here we're going to change its dimensions. We're going to give it a width of 360 and 760. Yes, so this is the frame size that I'll be using, and it's specific to my device, a Galaxy S10. So how you rename your frames is also like that. You just tap on the name and you'll be able to rename it. It's also important to give all your frames names. So if it's a home page, make sure you name it as home page. If it's a settings page, make sure you name it as settings. This is important for your sanity and not getting confused later on down the line. Okay, so that is a quick tour of Figma. I hope you found this video very useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing so that you don't miss the rest of the course. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.